Copying, moving, and removing files and directories are probably the most fundamental operations for any operating system. In this video, I'll demonstrate the use of copy, move, and remove commands on the Ubuntu command line. So let's open up a terminal window. I'll use my shortcut Ctrl-Alt-T. And now I'm going to work in the downloads folder. So I'll cd into that folder. And now I'm going to copy some log files. Now the system logs are stored in var log. So these are all the system logs, so every time one of these applications creates a log, it gets put here. Now if I want to copy that, I'm going to have to do it as root, so sudo cp-r. The -r switch is for recursive var log, and I'm going to move that into a log folder here in downloads. Validate my sudo, and now if I do ls log, it contains all of those files and subdirectories because I did it with -r. Now, every time I run sudo, it updates the auth.log file. So if I do ls-l into the log I've copied, let's do it in ls-ltr so we can get the most recent file last, so it's in reverse order of time. So here it just copied it, so 1209. And it copied it in an arbitrary order. But if I do sudo ls-l on var log, ltr for reverse order of time, it should have auth.log as the latest file. And it does. So this is the last file that was updated. So every time I do a sudo, it puts an entry in auth.log. Now, if I do that again, you'll see that the time is updated. So 1210 is my system clock, and you'll see 1210 as auth.log. Now if I do sudo cp-riu for recursive, interactive, and update only. So interactive means prompt var log into log. So I'm going to redo this copy, and it's going to prompt me when a file has changed or updated. There we go. So it picks up the sudo change, and it's asking me to overwrite the auth.log. And I say yes. And if I do ls-log, there's a bit of a problem. You'll notice that it's copied it into this log folder. This is because when the directory does not exist, it creates the entire directory tree. When the directory exists, it copies it into it. So what it did is copied the log. So if I do ls-log log, it has everything copied inside. So let me remove this and start over. So I can do sudo rm -rf, a very dangerous command. So it's recursively force this removal of everything in log. Now, since I'm doing this as root, if I did something on, say, /, this would cause a lot of damage. So I want to be very careful when using this command. But I'm going to remove that entire log structure, and I'll rerun this sudo -r var log into log. And that should have a copy command, cp. I'll get that right eventually. So cp, so ls log, so everything is back there. Now sudo ls-ltr var log, you see auth.log is the latest file updated. Now that should get updated, so if I do sudo cp-riu for recursive, interactive, and prompt from var log /* so everything under log goes into log. So I'll use this wildcard to make sure I'm not going to copy the log directory inside of the log directory that's already been created. Now it asks me to overwrite because I use this I and U switch, so update only and interactive. I say yes, Y. And that's all that was copied. So auth.log was the only file updated, so the RIU, it's the only one that gets copied when I make that copy command. So it doesn't have to recopy and overwrite everything again when it doesn't need to. Now if you'd like some more help with the copy command, cp, you can do cp -help, and it will give you a list of all the switches available, so all the options available in copy. Now I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to create a directory called log backup. Now if I'd like to move, there's the same move command, mv, works very similarly to the copy command, and it has a lot of the same, or maybe all the same switches. So if I move log to log backup, the same thing's going to happen as with my copy, it's going to move the log folder into log backup. So if I ls log backup, it moves it inside, but that's not really what I wanted to do. So I'm going to move it back. So log backup / log to log. So everything's back the way it was. So ls log and ls log backup should be empty. Okay, so if I want to move the contents of log into log backup, I'll have to specify the wildcard again. So log / star, so everything inside of log gets moved into log backup, which already exists. So if I do ls log backup now, we'll see all of the files are there. Now if I'd like to remove it, I can do a rmdir to remove directory. So this is a remove directory command, and it doesn't operate recursively, and it will only operate on empty directories. So if I try to do log backup, it says it's not empty. But if I do rmdir on log, which might have a problem of permissions, nope, it's fine. So since I moved everything out of log, it can remove it safely. So rmdir removes the log. Now if I do something like make a directory, there's a -p switch. So I can do A, B, C. It will create the A directory, and inside of that it creates a B directory, and inside of that it creates lsab, creates a C directory. So the -p switch lets you create it recursively. Now since there are only directories here, I can do rmdir for remove directory, -p abc, and it removes the entire tree because they're empty and it can operate recursively. Now if I do something like mkdir again, -abc, and then I'll do touch abc sumfile.txt. So this will create this file, an empty file, but it's there nonetheless. If I do remove dir on abc, it will complain that it's not empty. And then I can do the rm-r on A, and it will remove it all. And it works fine. Now, these functions are universal across most Unixes, Linuxes, and BSDs, and if you do anything from the command line, you'll need to use these commands. We can do a lot of this through the graphical file manager, but you can't navigate and make full use of the command line without knowing these. And that concludes this introduction to these important file and directory operations in Ubuntu.